Vicki Street Show. Oh, You know she got it, you wanna see her. You know she got it, you wanna be her. You know she got it, you wanna meet her. You know she got it, you wanna be her. Who that bad bitch coming through the door? The voice of the streets, you already know. And if you wanna see her, gotta throw some dough. Her way the only way, she gotta make it show. Who that bad bitch coming through the door? The voice of the streets, you already know. And if you wanna see her, gotta throw some dough. Her way the only way, she gotta make it show.
Who that bad bitch coming through the door? Don't need no introduction, I'ma make them say my name. Look, it ain't up for discussion. These niggas tussling, who gon' ice this wrist for a bad bitch? Gotta be quicker than that if you want me, gotta trick off the bag. Don't give a fuck about the tag, your girl been up in the lab. And I got some girls too if you wanna collab, you know I ain't tripping off that. I got that mac sauce, salad toast, second nature, been a boss. Shoulda never let me have no money cause I don't even see a cause. Ballin' like lacrosse, you see these Caucasian ducats out in Phuket, Thailand with my man stuck to the plan. Now I shoot shop in Japan, you bitches been a fan. Don't worry about what I put up and worry about that minivan.
Ay. Coming through the door, the voice of the streets, you already know. And if you wanna see her, gotta throw some dough. Her way the only way, she gotta make it show. She got 'em saying, who that?
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Vicki Street, and you're tuned into the all-new Vicki Street Show podcast edition. And today, I'm so happy because I got some of my homies joining me. They are from the media and music industry. So without further ado, let's run it out and say who we got. Right here in front of me, we got my man Bekoe from Illanoize Radio, y'all.
How you doing?
Yes, also represent Vocalo as well. We love the folks over there. Thank you for joining us.
No problem.
Right here in front of me, we got my girl, the 290 queen. It's your girl, Bree Specific, in the building.
Hey,
Power 92.
Period.
Yes, and then over here on the end, we have my man, the ThoughtPoet. The code is with the photography, okay? And you gonna tell a good story. Tell the people who you are.
Damn, I appreciate that.
You know I'm gonna bring you up to the podium, to the pulpit.
Damn, writer, organizer, creative director, photographer. I used to run what was called the Lyrical Lab like 10 years ago. That's where Lyrical Lemonade got a lot of their shit from.
Damn, he just gonna say it in the intro.
I mean, we talk about Chicago shit, right? Like,
Wait, was that
and hold on, we gonna get into it. But mostly let them know
I
about.
was thinking it was a partnership. I guess not.
You are from Unsocial Aesthetics as well.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's a digital storytelling collective. We've been building with a lot of artists within the last couple of years, like Freddie Oso, Heavy Crowns, Mother Nature.
Okay.
We put out a lot of their content last year, so we planning on coming in 2023 strong. So
okay, now
You
see,
coming in strong.
you came in hella hot. I don't want to dismiss what just happened.
I wasn't trying to come in hot.
This is a keep it real show, y'all. Okay,
I'm
we are
trying
here
to
to
be
keep it
chill.
real. We are here to keep it real and do everything decently and in order.
Gotta keep my job.
Is the right, as the church people say.
Oh, hey.
So this episode, this is called the Radio Underdogs episode. I came up with this because I first curated a playlist called Radio Underdogs of people who I felt like had a good mainstream sound. They were popular in their own right, but they're still not touching certain airwaves, whether it be in their hometown or in other cities. And I kind of wanted to break down the whys. And so I have you all here. You all are in media in your own rights, whether it be on a web publication or the airways. But I know that you all have been to the open mics. Y'all throw showcases. You have weekly Tuesday what the word joints, like you can submit your music and get heard. So you're always putting on a platform for artists to be heard. But starting off, I just kind of wanted to start off the conversation with Chicago. Started off from the home. I know you started off real hot. We gonna get to that.
We keep saying that, bro.
Yeah, we gonna get to that.
Bro, I ain't know nothing.
But at the core of it though, let's talk about the sound in Chicago right now. And pushing the culture forward. Like, what's the overarching sound before we get into who's play, who's not play? What would y'all say? Is it an overarching sound, or is there multiple different genres, and are some being heard more than others? Let's go.
Can I get a definition of overarching?
Archie.
Because
Come on now.
I got my perspective. So
I saw that list of questions and I was like, I don't want
At
to be the
least you
one
got
to
to see
ask.
some
but-
questions.
You got some questions? So we here to entertain,
answer that one, though.
uplift, and educate. So overarching, that's just in general. Is there a sound that is just in general?
I could get into one real quick.
Yeah.
I think right now, in my opinion, Chicago's going through a native tongue stage right now. Like, the artists are really implementing hip hop and like community organizing, and they fusing them. And I've been in this for like 10 years now, and I think this is like the first time I've really seen artists try to like even mess with those two things, right? Because a lot of the times Chicago is known for not supporting each other, but like in this little wave, it's like it's the hip hop, and I mean they really getting into like the boom bap energy, you know what I'm saying? But they also doing food drives, doing mutual aid giveaways and stuff like that. Like, they're really trying to show the young homies like, yo, you can do this. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's through open mics, whether it's through, you know, curated events, like we can actually change Chicago into a city that actually supports each other. And I'm here for it. Like, I've been really seeing artists like Heavy Crowns, Mother Nature, The Great Thinkers, Linda Soul, Freddie Old Soul. Like, they just been going crazy with like the community healing, but also the music matches. And for me, that it's been not as like, I mean, you got obviously like the drill and like other like scenes of music, but for me that's different. Like, in the last 5 years, I haven't seen that.
I would have to say, you know, I agree to that, because seeing so many artists and just hearing so much music, we got an eclectic sound in general. We don't have just one sound. That's why a lot of people, you know, try and see what Chicago is cooking up. Of course, we got other markets, but Chicago is a market with a diverse sound. And it's really up to, you know, the community as far as the city to open their ears up more to understand that. But it's definitely a variety. Like, a lot of the artists he mentioned I'm in tune with, just got in tune with Linda Soul. And she's very fluent from spitting in English and Spanish. So it's like
oh, that's the girl DJ AMPM.
Yeah,
She
I think
cold.
she had that
Y'all
Joy
gotta
Eagle
put me
back.
I
on.
just found out about
She
her like
cold.
Put
Friday.
me on in.
she got a
Yeah,
single
no,
She
called
cold.
Whoa.
She's
Okay.
real.
She go.
Okay, so that's on the playlist then.
Yeah.
You
She
got-
was on Power 92 last weekend.
Yeah.
Period.
You got
Shout out to AMPM.
who else? OG Steve-O, you know, representing the North Side. He's been giving back,
mhm.
doing coat drives and just from food drives, coat drives. You got Film Dot doing what he can with Della Crim Scholars. Of course,
Shout
you
out
got
Matt Muse,
Chance
you
out here,
know,
Matt Muse with the nappy.
Social works team.
Nappy, what is it called? The nappy.
Nappy Roots.
Thank you.
Nappy
Yeah.
Roots.
So-
Chi-Town too. He was signed to Paper Route. Young Dog. He do Thanksgiving turkey drives.
See?
Yeah.
So I feel like, you know, as overall, we definitely have a diverse sound. It's just outside of the city, people feel like we have one sound, but it's definitely a diverse sound.
You have to search for it. You have
Yeah.
to really be interested in learning about the music in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, again, these events, these open mics, all of these things are really showing the different sides of music that Chicago can produce. And that's really been on the table since like 2020, if I'm being honest. Like, a lot of gatekeepers, a lot of spaces that were harmful but was like still producing music or like content, they really fell to the backside. You know what I'm saying? They just fell down. And so it left the scene open for a lot of artists that's been in it for years to really come out and really just come swinging, like Shai Tulani, Jeff Koons. Like, these folks have been in it for a long time, and it's like, yeah, they're getting the light. And it's really because like the world is ready to hear something from Chicago that's new, and it's here. It's just you got to do the work to actually find that music.
I also think that I kind of disagree with like gatekeepers falling down. I think even with the pandemic, I think a lot of artists had to figure out how. They had to figure out like, how do we push our music when we can't do shows? And, you know, we sitting at home. Like, how do we make this content when all we got is our iPhone? And people were shooting music videos out from their iPhone. I know a lot of artists got into, like, putting out some type of freestyle, like, even with your freestyles. And I like Cassius Tate. He cold when it comes to visuals and branding and putting his artistry out there, marketing. Like, a lot of artists dug into their bag when it came into the outside part of music, or even like what Issa Rae say, connect across and not up. I think a lot of artists, they don't wait no more. They don't wait to get a big homie to pull them into that certain room. They go to the shows. They come up to me. They come up to Bekoe. They come up to our big homies and be like, yo, I know you ain't never met me before. Here go my tape. Can I sing you something? And they're consistent with it. And I like that. I feel like we getting back to like the roots of hip hop, the roots of like, let me get into this door because I don't want to sit down and wait for somebody to come find me.
Facts.
My thing is, I agree with everything y'all just said. We know a lot of these people personally.
But you're an artist too.
Yeah, I want to hear your artist stand.
But also, I just got up in this joint like 2 years ago.
Been in it for like 10 years on the hosting side.
So my thing is like, we know a lot of these people personally, but I still don't hear these people. This is not the sound that I hear. You mentioned boom bap. I'm not hearing that on our radio station, and I don't know if it's just a Chicago thing or we not hearing this across the U.S.
So I know, as far as my position, as far as like being in the journalism, being in the writing stages in the city, a lot of I mean, I feel like Bree can speak way more to it than I can.
Because are we just talking about strictly radio right now?
Well, right now, because the topic of the show is radio underdog. So people who, have a
sound. Yeah, and so like with the blog era, like again, like in the last 10 years, like the blog era, like if you knew about websites like Fake Shore Drive, Ruby Hornet, Pursuit of Dopeness, like if you didn't get stuck, because like Power 92, y'all have like a section where y'all playing like, unheard like music and stuff, but y'all can
a lot of that is pushed from blogs. Like that blog era was like, the blogs blew this song up this much that we have to play it.
Like with Chance the Rapper, like Power 92, y'all broke him in first. Chance the Rapper, Alex Wiley, and Kimbe X. And that was huge because again, the audience and the wave of artists that those particular folks have is completely different, say it's like a Lil Zay Osama or something like that. And so, it's small steps, but I think like again within the past 10 years, websites, different platforms, they're no longer existent. So it was like, if you really was a music head and you was trying to find like a concert to go to for that weekend, it was harder to find an artist like Vic Spencer who has been killing it in the Chicago hip hop scene for 10 years and going, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's really just, building those spaces up again, building up those platforms where, you may not be able to find this particular person, but if you look on these sites, if you go into community events that, uplift artistry in the city, you're going to find that art. So, in my opinion.
It just depends on the genre of music that station is playing. Like we play like street hip hop. We're number one in the street, so we have to play street hip hop. If there is a Chicago song that's going crazy, like a Lil Zay Osama or PGF Nook, I don't even know if we play Nook like that for real, or a Chance the Rapper or a Vic Mensa. If it goes crazy, we gonna end up playing it, regardless of what genre of hip hop it is. If it's hip hop, we gonna play it. I know I can't speak on Vocalo, but like they have that genre of hip hop where it's like it's
I'm gonna
very
get
much
into
so
it when you're done.
Right. It's
No,
very much
I already know.
It's very much so versatile over there.
Yeah.
You'll be
Definitely
like
know that.
over here you gonna hear the Dirt, the Thug, the Gunners, and over there it's like it's more versatile.
It's definitely super versatile at Vocalo, which is Chicago's only NPR music station. And a lot of NPR music stations that they're forming nationally is actually the blueprint from our station.
You better say that.
But
okay.
And to actually iterate what you were saying about the Chance, the Kimba X, the Vic, Vocalo was actually the first to really put in tune with just to let you know, just to let you know. My bad. I gotta make it known. But no, shout out to Power, because at the end of the day, it takes for all of the stations to actually push our artists. So it's definitely no shade, because it takes all of us to get this stuff right. I'm trying to keep my professional song curse, you know what I'm saying? But it takes for all of us to get it right. But honestly, it's really opening up your ears. Like, it's being played, like you were saying, you don't really hear things here and there. It's sites out there that's still delivering on the blog side, even though the blog era, I'm not going to say it came and went, because it's still here. It's still blogs. Here in Chicago, I can give one right now. Ghetto Flower. They're pushing. Outside of like, what's the word, Illanoize, you got Ghetto Flower that's pushing. You got These Days pushing. So I can't name them all, but it's still sites out here that's still pushing content and putting people in tune with the community out here on the artist side. And then you have stations that's still doing what they can. Of course, you got Power, you got GCI, you have Vocalo, you have Illanoize Radio. Here, you got My Radio Chicago, you got Envion Radio. It's just Illanational,
So
even though that
many
sounds
radios.
very similar. But
Let's not
it's
do
a
that,
station.
okay?
It's a station. So it's just people have to really open their ears and go search, and you'll find what you're looking for.
So you saying you gotta go search and you gotta find, and that thing is out there.
Mhm.
My thing that I'm getting at is what be crazy to me is I use the artist Smino for example.
Cold.
That boy be selling
That's
out
a
all the
cult
shows.
Following
Oh.
right
Gee,
there,
he be
bro.
selling out all his shows,
He can go to
But
but I
Barcelona
don't
and they
hear
gonna buy a
him
flight.
on the radio though.
Wait.
Now I'm not even
No,
gonna
no,
look
no,
at
go
you
ahead. No, no.
because I already know how y'all get down.
Mhm.
Like I know how y'all get
I
down.
want you to talk your shit.
But that is the alternative. And my thing is what I'm trying to bridge, and maybe this is where I'm a little bit biased, is that I feel like I can do all different types and styles of music, but there are so many different types of music when it comes to mainstream as well. But I feel like we only hear a percentage sometimes of that. And I just be trying to figure out why is that when clearly folks like Cleo Soul got a following, Smino got a following. Like, why is that? I didn't know. So I had to come to some of the sources and see. I don't
like this is directed to me.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. But I had to make sure we started.
Me, no.
We do.
I
had
remember
to-
when you hit me up like,
But
hey,
honestly, I
I
was
think it's
late
also-
to
I
But
think-
it's also during what type of programs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying y'all never do it, but it's like, for instance, if it's a GCI, you're going to hear some on a home turf, or you'll maybe hear, thank
See.
God for some of these DJs who
See.
have relationships in the city with these artists.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. It's really based on program director
Yes,
and
it is.
music director.
That's what I was trying to
So,
get brought out. Some people don't know who's in control of
that's
what's
who
going
can
on
really
the radio.
controls the format of the station and the music. So you can't really get on a host. DJs
Oh, no.
also
Not
I'm
getting on-
I'm
yeah.
just speaking for general.
Mhm.
DJs also have some play where they
Mhm.
can throw songs in their mixes, to help break records as well. But overall, it's really the directors that control the formats of what they want the listeners to hear. And if it
And
don't fit the
sometimes it's
format,
higher than that. I mean, I work in commercial radio. Like we run off advertising. We not
Mm.
NPR. We don't take donations. We don't take funds. Like we run off of us working with labels, us getting advertisers. You want to buy into the station. Like I tell people all the time, like they be like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how do I get in rotation. I just can't throw you in rotation.
Mhm.
My PD can't just throw you in rotation. There has to be a demand, and 9 times out of 10, that demand has to come from a major label, or you have to be extremely plugged in.
yeah.
Or TikTok. Didn't want to have to bring up the TikTok.
We get forced to play TikTok songs all the time, child.
Can I
and
ask, like, if you may know, like, why is that?
it comes
Is it
from the
because
labels.
TikTok has become a force
It's
within
a
the music
business,
industry?
I feel like.
It's a business.
TikTok
you
could
make
be
money.
its own
You
label
make money.
whole
TikTok
time.
has like a A&R music
Yeah.
department
They definitely
now.
do.
Yeah.
And
But
they
also-
work,
oh,
but
my
directly
bad.
with these major labels, and
Mhm.
it's like, okay, and I find it so crazy that like people literally used to have to stand outside of radio stations, stand outside of labels, and
Remember them days.
push track
That's what I
after
miss.
single after EP after mixtape on a CD, where now you can literally just get 15 seconds of somebody's song. You don't even have to listen to the whole song. If that 15 seconds is going crazy, we gonna slide you a quick little 100,000, play you on all these radio stations, and work you out until
Yes.
either you make another hit and you come back with another one, or we just gonna see what happens with you.
I
But
think-
that's what TikTokers need to watch out for, because now you in debt with all these labels for what?
I think going back to the labels thing, I think another part is, and I mean, I know people have talked about it for a while as far as like there being no labels in Chicago, and
We got labels in Chicago.
we do, but I feel like they don't. And I think this is where we get into like, who are they actually looking for? Because it's like 10, 15 artists I can name off that be in a lot of these, open mic scene battles, the freestyle battles, the cypher battles. And they're the ones that normally be like, yo, like we don't know where labels are at. Like I know you have labels like Closed Sessions, you have other ones, but it's like there's not and it's slowly happening. Like what's the word? I know y'all do a lot of work around like creating spaces where artists can like find those resources, but it's not happening enough. You know what I'm saying? To the point where like if you're a young person coming out of school and you may not want to go to college, but you may want to mess with production or composition, any of that shit, there's not a lot of resources. And it's like we were depending on After School Matters to do a lot of that work. But COVID, budgets, politicians, all that. You know what I'm saying? It plays a lot into it, and I feel like that's the one thing that a lot of artists and a lot of people that have been in it for a while have always said is that getting more A&Rs and more labels to not necessarily look at what's popular, but look at what's coming up in Chicago.
What's in these streets?
I think that goes back to what Bekoe was saying earlier, though, about having to be able to find these resources because they're out there. Me and Cody just started a master mentor program with Illinois Media School. So every month, last week we had Dex Millions. He's an entertainment manager, and he's worked with people that was signed with Columbia. He works with Shaylin B right now. He's worked with a lot of artists, yes. And Dex looks out for the city. That whole
Let
GCI
me say I love that y'all
on the
doing
block
that.
cipher.
Yeah.
Dex put that together for Big Jam. So if anybody I could say like really be like trying to connect the city is definitely Dex Millions. But Master Mentors is open for everybody. Once a month we bring in a music professional that's been in the industry that we trust. We'll give y'all valuable information. It's literally for everybody. My IMS students come one Monday out the month and they literally sit there and ask you whatever they want to ask you, and the professionals are there, like they give you honest answers, like they tell you the do's and don'ts, the pros and cons of being in the industry and how they got where they are. So those are like resources. But when we post on Instagram stuff like that, it's like people don't pay attention. So I try to go the extra mile and be like, okay, I'm finna send this out personally to my people.
How is that program doing? Is it doing well?
It's doing well.
Okay.
We started it, I think, November, December, I feel like. It was like November. So we've only had 2. We pushing to get corporate and start for the next one.
Okay.
To talk about like making content and editing and things like that. So we just want to touch on every field of entertainment and just being a creative. Because a lot of people say that like we don't have these resources or we don't know. But also the places where I see like the label reps that are in Chicago or the people who own these labels that aren't the places that I see like certain artists. You feel me? And that comes with that segregation that Chicago has. So we got to figure it out. We still got to figure out a way to build that bridge.
That's why I wanted to ask you, you voice a street. Like, what do you feel, is needed? Because from the artist standpoint, what do you feel can at least help make things better?
To be honest, that you call it master mentors. To be honest, I wish I had something like that when I was coming up, because there's really no college to career pipeline. Like, just because you go to an art school or you go to a school, period, you major in something, there's no guarantee you'll get a job. There's no guarantee because you write music, somebody's gonna sign you, or you gonna make enough money to move your mama out the crib or something like that. It's like all of this brain work that somebody has to do. Yet we live in a city where we have everything. We really do. And we have some of the most talented people, and folks still feel like they gotta leave. So I really feel like what we need is a good, clear pipeline and pathway. And we need more mentors and people who aren't afraid to open their hands to people who are coming up, like regardless, creative, whatever it is.
And Chicago got an ego problem.
That too.
Can we talk about that though? Because that holds us back.
All we need is a circuit. That's what I've been saying.
And trust me, I've been building something, so we gonna talk about that soon.
No, but like that ego thing, like that in a lot of ways. And I mean that I feel like that's something that goes back like way before any of us got in this for real. But I feel like that goes into the Chicago don't support each other concept. That go into the we're afraid of another person outshining us, so we, don't show love and, support and shit like that. And I feel like, especially what I'm building on, I'm trying to help change that shit. But that's definitely a huge thing where other cities, they be thirsty to
I feel like you gotta pay your dues in Chicago though. Like ain't nobody just finna give you nothing and work with you type shit. I feel
like that happens everywhere.
Yeah.
But really here though, I feel like, cause I done went to Atlanta and just hopped off the bus and they like, we can play your song here, or we want to produce for you here. And I'm like,
Atlanta was a great time. Okay.
It was a really good time.
Chicago, we
had a great
y'all don't even know me like that.
That's how we was out there like. These people so friendly. Like,
no,
they
for
were
real.
just
Southern hospitality.
They don't know if I suck at rapping or not.
Podcasters that I watch on the regular, like, dang, y'all doing y'all ish, was walking up like, you from Chicago?
Yep.
You do
Shout out to Boss Brit.
Like,
shout out to DJ XL. They
Baby
was on
J,
it there.
like,
yes.
what? They were just so... I loved it. I was
welcoming.
Yeah,
look, before we cut and go to a break, I want to get you all's top 3 picks of a radio underdog. Somebody you feel like got a raw sound. They need I don't even know what they need. It's just the world maybe ain't caught on, but those who know. Who is in y'all top 3?
Oh, You know what? It's crazy you say that. I was literally in the car last week thinking like some of my favorite hosts, and outside of my sister Bree.
We
talking about music artists.
Well, you said host.
Did I say host? I want Bekoe give me my flowers.
I'm screaming. Look, we already know. It's only 1-290 Queen. We ain't got no other 290 Queen. Did I say? I'm talking about artists.
When I read the email, I was thinking radio host. I was like, really ain't that many of us.
And here I am. I'm ready.
We already know. We know how we do as a media family. Like, y'all been great, but I really wanted to get into the artists.
Okay, sorry, my bad. I heard you say host.
You want to talk nice about me.
I love y'all. Y'all some of my favorites, so that's why you're here. So I love y'all.
Well, you too.
Thank you.
What's the break down that question one more time? So
three top artists you feel like that are coming up right now that.
Or they might have been up for a minute.
Or they been up, yeah.
So Smino was one of my top people. Matter of fact, I'll give y'all some of my people. I really love Tia Kareem.
True.
Old girl who make the Freaky Tea joint. She came out with a very like dynamic and diverse tape that she just came out with. I also think, even though folks know about Victoria Monet, I still feel like she ain't got her new flowers.
She slept on.
Like,
R&B wise,
we talking about like outside of Chicago?
It could be.
I got my Chicago artists.
Anybody.
It could be in and out.
This is so hard.
It's hard for people. We gonna go Bekoe first.
I'm gonna just throw some out. It's so many, but I'm gonna stick with Smino because I done seen Smino before he was Smino.
Yeah,
before he was Smeezy. When he was starting his SoundCloud growth, I remember him walking into my studio sessions at Classic. So definitely love how his growth has just been phenomenal. And he done built up a cult following from just putting out quality music. I think he's getting his just due. Another artist I will put on the board that I'm gonna go R&B. Jazz.
I was about to say.
You can still say jazz. Jazz is jazz. She's so cold with the writing, the singing, the sound, and I done seen her develop over the years too. So jazz, she cold. And I got Asar. God damn, Asar, he's super cold.
Yeah.
I feel like he's getting ready to drop an album soon, and I heard it, and oh my God. So OG Steve-O, Lil Bl- I keep going.
I know. I just wanted to get y'all to rattle off a couple of them.
Chanel True got it. Girl, it's too many. Go ahead, Bree.
It's okay if you do five.
Every time I do this, somebody hit me and be like, "Why you ain't say me?"
I know.
Man, they gotta work harder. If you ain't name them, they gotta
we
work
have
harder.
a playlist correspondent.
Yeah, Brittany Carter
just came up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know if they count because they be like touring around the world, but I don't hear them on the radio. Mother Nature.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. I get her name mixed up because it's two of them, but they ain't the same. Sanite.
Yeah, I knew you were
I really think she's one of the coldest out of Chicago right now.
Okay.
Definitely.
Wemmy Mo.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now you to put me on.
Wemmy
Gotta
cold.
get into Wemmy.
Start with the W.
Right.
W. Yup. WEMMYMO.
Okay. This going in the playlist after the show. For sure.
I don't count film. I feel like film is like a
Film
dad.
But he definitely falls.
But
he's on the playlist.
Grabbing,
Film Dot, he a senior vet. He a vet right now.
Oh, and Fresh.
Yeah. Freshwater.
Freshwater Specific game. True.
Fresh.
That's the so for me, definitely Shanae Mosley. She's on tour right now with Smino. She's been in this for a long time. I know people don't know, but she was part of what was called the Highness Collective.
Oh yeah, that's how I met her.
Like actually, Smino got on to Shanae because of the Highness Collective. Before he even became Smino, which was cool. Definitely Freddie also. Like I feel like you can't even mention a Samara Truth or a Mother Nature without mentioning Freddie also. Like Shorty got hip hop, bro.
Teaching folks too,
bro. When it comes to hip hop, like Freddie also got it, like that. She needs immediately need to be like on somebody radio show. And my last person, Rico Shy. Because he from over east, and bro is like if you meet him, he really resembles what like a real East Side dude is. Like they real humble. But they hood niggas, so they like you gotta be aware. But like, yeah, the stuff he did with like Thelonious Martin with Seasick, like,
I got another one.
Like he.
Can I throw a quick plug in for Rico?
Go ahead.
Because his auntie recently lost her life as well as her boyfriend. So if you all could, support bro and go to this GoFundMe link, or actually follow him. It'll be easier, which is Rico, which is RECOECHI. That's Rico Shy, RECOECHI. Please support his family. I send my condolences to his family. And help him out and help his family out and donate.
Press Rico.
Yeah. And just because I don't know if y'all ever heard of Shy Tulani.
Oh yeah.
Bro actually opened up for Skip Marley last year, and
That's dope.
yeah, bro is definitely one of those artists that he's like on the hip hop side
And the Afro.
and on the Afrobeat side, and he makes it like real effortless, and I've seen his growth. So yeah, I'm definitely rooting for those people for
And his
sure.
performance with the tapper.
Crazy.
I'm
Homie be
trying to
coming out
tell
there
you.
with the taps.
I love that. I want to shout out Fly Pirate Skin.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
He
Pirate
been
Skin.
working.
Come on.
Working. That's like, if I could say like one artist that I've really seen like work and be continuous and consistent, regardless of what he facing or who say he can't do it or can do it, he make it happen.
Now you gonna have me mention every goddamn body.
I
got
But
artists.
but that's what the
Got a pair
playlist
of
is
P.
for. So send me them
Goddamn.
joints.
Richie West.
Oh, you got mine,
Kid
don't you?
Breeze,
Yeah, I got you.
Joel Q.
All the artists y'all heard this
I
week.
love making playlists of Chicago artists. So shit.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, another dual purpose of this episode was to put a lot of folks on once again to not only great Chicago artists, but people that's been doing it in general. So without further ado, I'm going to cut it right here. We're going to go to a commercial break, pay some bills, and then we'll be back to keep them out in the street.
Looking to have your event laid out in excellence? Well, look no further. Divine Treats and Heavenly Eats specializes in gourmet catering and event planning. You can choose from a range of cuisines, themes, and colors that'll best fit your occasion. They even offer private chefing and meal prep subscriptions. So call today and save on a heavenly service of your choice by mentioning the Vicki Street Show, 888-355-3811, or visit heavenlyeats.com. And don't forget to follow them on Instagram at heavenly_eats for mouth-watering treats.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Vicki Street, and I'm back at it again. This time with some Chicago legends. Once again, we got your girl, Bree Specific, and my boy, ThoughtPoet. Now, during the break, we were talking about some good old Chicago iced tea. Yes.
The sweet tea.
Yes, the good crack kind. And for those of you all who don't know, my boy ThoughtPoet, he started the Lyrical Lab way back in the day. I remember this because I was a huge fan of the folks from Treated Crew, Save Money. I was in the thick of it at Columbia, and y'all were covering a lot of it. And then out of nowhere, the Lyrical Lemonade popped up. And I was like, did they just steal these niggas' stuff? They couldn't. This must be a collaboration. So you tell me, give me the tea. What really happened?
Look, and I'm only saying this because, again, like, I ain't got no beef with nobody. It's just,
Of course not.
This is just kind of what it was. So True Star Magazine owned the Lyrical Lab back in the day.
Shout out to True Star.
Shout out, because I came up through them
legendary.
too.
True Star,
Right,
truly,
legends, for sure.
majority of what's going on in this artist scene, behind the scenes, artist-wise, True Star has had something to do with it. And so we had a radio show on Power 92 at the time. Hot Rod was a part of it. And it was doing dope. That's how we broke Chance the Rapper, Kimberly X, and Alex Wiley on the radio. We got like a copyright infringement from overseas. They was like, you got to change your name. We was like, damn. So we changed the name to the Lyrical Lab, but we lost the radio show. So we just kept on going. You know what I'm saying? Because at the time, we were kids. And so this was before Chance the Rapper dropped Acid Rap. This is before Tink got with Timbaland. I don't know if y'all remember Lily K, but this is before she like started doing work with Tidal. So like we were just some excited as kids, really loving the Chicago music.
What y'all did.
And for us, it was about trying, because everywhere at the time, like music was popping, but it was the same thing. Like everybody was trying to play Chicago, like we not that cold. And it's like, nah, nigga, like we're amazing. And this was right when Soulja Boy co-signed Chief Keef, and that took off. And so for me, I was just like, okay, you got your LA shit, you got your Miami shit, but Chicago is where it's at. If you want the weed rap, if you want the neo soul, if you want the, you know what I'm saying? We got all that. And so that was what it was for me. I actually remember the day I saw Cole Bennett, who runs the Lyrical Lemonade, and we were at Vic Mensa's internet tape at the Lofts in Chinatown. And so we saw Travis Scott there. like it was busting. And so I started seeing the Lyrical Lemonade stickers because back in the day we had Lyrical Lab stickers. And so that's how he started basically doing his thing because he saw our Lyrical Lab stickers and shit. So I saw him, he saw me, and it was whatever. You know what I'm saying? I didn't take no offense because we were already doing our thing, and I was more so never in it for competition or clout. It was like, these niggas are cold. Like, I really want to talk about these people. And so when we went on hiatus from doing the Lyrical Lab, because people at True Star at the time, they just didn't know what to do with us, I begged them to, let us keep going because I saw Lyrical Lemonade doing what they were doing. And I was just like, that's fine, long as we keep doing what we doing. And they didn't hear me. And the one thing that all of my bosses at True Star have told me since that moment is everybody we talked about, everyone has either gotten signed or gotten recognized in some like huge way in the last 10, because this is 10 years of
that was the mecca.
You know what I'm saying? So like FemDot, like back in the day, like all of these individuals, we were talking about. And so again, like I never took offense because I was just like, I was never doing it for clout. But I started seeing like, like when the Lyrical Lab, wasn't a thing anymore, like those platforms, because Face Short Drive, they start, posting as much, and then Ruby Hornet, they went to become closed sessions. So it was like all the artists that was really just like about the bus, like the whoever's, I don't even know if y'all know them, Show You Suck, like those people, they were just like, damn, like we ain't got nowhere to post no more. And this again was, the blog era was still going, but it was starting to be questioned, like, yeah, fuck your blog type shit, you know what I'm saying? And so since then, I was just like, yo, like, this needs to come back. Like, the city needs a platform that's going to really just uplift artists just because, like, this is what you claim you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, this Chicago music scene, it's always been something I love. And so, like, even when I bring up I think I've only started bringing up that conversation maybe in, like, the last year.
How long did y'all take a hiatus? Like, what point was that?
So this was... it had to have been like 2017, 2018-ish. Yeah, it had to have been between 2016 and 2017. So this was definitely before Juice WRLD. But again, like Lyrical Lemonade was starting to pick up a lot of steam. And again, we was just doing our thing. Like we had a whole showcase before we went on hiatus. We had all the Pivot Gang. We had No Name when she was called No Name Gypsy. We had Rapper Chicks. We had a lot of hard-hitting acts. We had Logan. We had a lot of just like legends on that stage. And I think for me, what made me always be like comfortable was like they did it for the love. Like everyone we had on that bill was like, yo, we fuck with what you're trying to do.
Y'all building community.
You know what I'm saying? And so like for me, I was always like, if I were to do this again, would I? And I was like, do I want to do this again? Because you already know, like, being a part of a blog and a radio show is like, the other stuff that come with that, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's just stressful. And I was just like, I was homeless when I did all of the Lyrical Lab, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, for me, it was really my love for the music that kept me going. Like, I was only getting like stipends for doing that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, yo, y'all gotta listen to Martin Scott. Y'all gotta listen to Chance the Rapper. Y'all gotta listen to all of these people. And yeah, I'm about to do it again.
So we're doing it again. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm asking a lot of questions.
No, he just said a lot. I'm finna.
Because
I
don't remember. Cause I was trying to think back to that era because I went away for college.
Yeah, you was in college.
So I know Face Short Drive. Like if it was big enough to touch that part of the Midwest, I knew about it. And I just came home for like concerts and shows and stuff. So I didn't really build solid relationships with a lot of these artists until I got out of college. And I don't remember Lyrical Lab. That's why I want to ask all these questions. I'm kinda intrigued.
I'll ask some questions for you.
The Underdog. We were the Underdog. We were
with bringing it back, if it's anything that you would like change or enhance, like what would it be?
To be honest with you, it's really just like building into everything that's already being built into. So like, everything that What's the Word is doing, everything that These Days is doing, really just, doing my part in it, which is to keep uplifting these artists because that's what it's about. And it's like, in the next 5 years, in the next 2 years, these younger artists, these kids that are coming out of elementary school, high school, they're looking to get their shit off. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them saw 2020. A lot of them were in these streets organizing. So a lot of them are just like, yeah, I got this energy and blue. How do I get it off? And it's just like, there needs to be another platform. And so I think just really connecting everything. So like connecting the Vocalos, connecting the 92.3s, you know what I'm saying? Connecting all of these entities to really be like, yo, we can never say Chicago don't support Chicago again. Like, yeah.
I got one more question. I feel like, I'm sorry, Vicki. This is very interesting to me because I never heard this story, and then I want to talk about so much shit, but I want to.
Me and Vicki talk about this shit all the time.
But y'all know I'm good for tweets and shit. Get in trouble. So
I want to go ahead. Go ahead. Ask your question.
I'm trying to ask it. Well, I'm not gonna ask that question. I'll ask you that out there. But so with you starting it back, do you think? Because I get people all the time that be like, well, labels don't want to sign me, so I'm gonna start my own label. You know, what's the word? Don't want to post me. I'm gonna start my own blog. So, do you think that in today's climate of having so many of Chicago first pushing and like already fighting to be in that top spot when it comes to media, entertainment, and all of that, do you think that it will be more beneficial for you to partner with like a what's the word or with a Facial Drive or something and just have your lyrical lab entity a part of that? Because you focus on a whole genre of hip hop that I feel like needs to be more so in the spotlight. And I can honestly say that we try our best. Like we go to Mother Nature shows, we rock with Heavy Crowns when we mow.
Yeah, y'all just want
yeah, but that's not the central of what we, the central of what we promote as far as music, and that's with just about all blogs, honestly.
Honestly, so we're rebranding it. We're rebranding Lyrical Lab, and it's now called Unsocial Aesthetics. And it's a digital storytelling collective where we basically help uplift artists. We help, create their music videos. We help them with their projects, stuff like that. We want to partner. We want to collab. We want to build. We want to lock in. And again, we're just, for me, like, people look at me in the community as an OG because of my photography work in the music community and the organizer community. So it's like, for me, seeing everything that's happened since the Lyrical Lab went on hiatus, I'm appreciative for. So like, seeing what's the word is doing, seeing what these days is doing, like, y'all are doing phenomenal work, and I just want to come in and help. You know what I'm saying?
Like you have a lane that needs to be touched. And I tell my interns all the time, like when y'all looking at these blogs and y'all looking at these companies that you want to work for, you got to think about what don't they have and how can I add that to what they have. Like think about how Revolt picked up Drink Champs. Think about how who picked up Joe Budden Network, Cash App, and some more people.
Yeah.
So it's like, think of like, I feel like what you have can still be yours, but I think that you can maximize off of it with just us working together, because that's a big part about Chicago. They say we don't work together,
and that's all out. And for real, when I was doing this back in the day, that was what made me want to leave, because I've wanted to leave this so many times, just like a lot of people that
leave
be in
the city.
Leave like the scene, leave like this.
Because people want to leave the city too. I'm just saying.
But I mean, so a lot of the times it's the same. But a lot of the times it's the same thing, though. You know what I'm saying?
And I would love to see what y'all think about that, because I'm on some. Oh, I ain't gotta leave. I could try to make things right.
Look, I'm like King Louis, bro. I'm like King Louis, bro. If you make it in Chicago, you can make it anywhere.
Exactly.
And that when he said that, it's like in real time, like, because Chicago, like, we don't look at shit that's mid and say it's cool. Like, we really gotta be impressed.
You gotta stand on it.
We gotta be impressed.
But I also feel like you kind of gotta leave and come back for people to either respect you, want to work for you, or just bring them resources.
That's not entirely true.
I see it happen a lot,
and they mad that they left.
But
that's sometimes too.
And that's
but
what,
I see it a lot.
And that's what I want to do with bringing Unsocial Aesthetics up. Like, our goal is to change that narrative. You know what I'm saying? Right. So when people be like, I got to go to Cali, I got to go to New York, I got to do this, even because it's not even just the music, it's the art. You know what I'm saying? It's like doing all types of other things in the city, and people be like, yeah, Chicago just too cutthroat, Chicago this, Chicago that. And it's like, it's a mind state, bro.
You just have to understand Chicago to be like...
You really do. And I think that's the biggest thing that, like, made me stay every time I wanted to go, is realizing that, like, we truly create, like, powerful, unbreakable entities. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to art, music. And I know that the community will benefit from building together. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, this is something that, you know, goes years and years and years back, but it's like, we need
talk
that.
about this like it's slavery.
Bro, it's like
because you always have to go back to like 2012.
No, but let's talk about why you gotta
like
go back to
slavery.
2012.
you have to though.
Let's talk about 2012 real quick. My freshman year of college. So if you wasn't here, then you just wouldn't know. It was a spirit in the atmosphere.
Baby.
Okay, let me tell y'all. One of my questions, matter of fact, one of the final and last questions I wanted to ask y'all was, what do y'all think the Chicago music scene is missing? And my answer would be school spirit. School spirit.
Okay, so the reason why I said earlier in the interview that I feel like Chicago is going into a native tongue stage is, if you know about native tongues on some hip hop shit, it's like their whole existence was to build community and build community throughout the arts. So that's how Queen Latifah got her start, for real. Busta Rhymes, all these people, right? And again, with 2020 being what it was, I started seeing different collectives, different artists coming in and being like, yo, we can build together. We can actually make it where we all can eat. We can all get credited at the same time if we put in the work to do what needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, getting the resources, you know, being able to get uplifted, like, it's possible. And I think that's the one thing Chicago is missing, is building community with each other. I think G Herbo said it last year, as far as like, that is the thing that's missing. And it's like being able to be in a space where you got the drill, you got the hip hop, you got the neo soul, and we fuck with each other, bro. Like, we all can coexist. That's why when people be like, drill this, drill that, it's like, bro, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, you have London drill, bro. If you were here 2012, you would have not been thinking about no damn London drill. No one was saying that shit.
London drill. I'm sorry, but it sounds hilarious to me.
It does, but they're still killing it.
Because Charlamagne was like, Charlamagne was like last year, he was like, Chief Keef. He was like, Chief Keef wasn't one of the most inspirational artists like in the world. And it's like, again, drill came from Chicago. And it's like, if we really getting into it, it's like, stop trying to shit on Chicago. But it's like, if we are building community, if we're actually building spaces where we can have these conversations, you know what I'm saying, and like take in this music, it's like, there's no way anyone from outside can tell us what we already know.
I want to hear from Bree. What you think is missing?
I think it's the same thing, the segregation, really. Like, I literally, and I think as media people, sometimes depending on what platforms you work for, like, I know I'm in spaces all the time where I can go to, like, for instance, I went to KO Southside listening session like 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, and saw all the homies. Mello was there. I think when we was there. Tonight was there. Ro Marcellus was there. Then I went to Sub T for Blessing show. Steve O'Dell, Flex there, you know, like the whole other opposite side of hip hop was there. So I feel like we just gotta find a way to bring it together.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times it don't even be like they don't know each other. Well, a lot of times it is, because I'd be surprised how many times I bring up Saba and people still don't know. Who is that?
And that's a problem to me.
Look.
And that's why we're here today.
Saba's story is a perfect example of the scene when it's not being heard.
That's what I'm saying.
Saba, like, the joint he had with G Herbo, it took a second, but that was not immediately put on radio. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at the album the man put out, that
one of the best albums.
Not only is it one of his best, but that nigga took Chicago hip hop to the next fucking level,
best
bro.
Album to come out of Chicago that year.
No, hands down. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, again, if you look on Twitter, if you look on the media or the internet, they're like, yo, Saba Ben needed this. But there's, like you just said, there's people that still don't even know about Pivot Game. There's people that still don't even know how cold MF and Mello and Fresh and Joseph Tilliams is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I also, not to cut you off, but I also think it's I don't want to label the sides, but it's like the street side, but it's not really just drill, but it's like the street side of hip hop in Chicago. Then it's like the more alternative,
yeah.
urban art. Well, Bekoe ain't here no more. Urban alternative, and honestly, and here I go being honest. Somebody gonna get mad
Be
at me.
honest with me.
But
Please.
I've been to a Pivot Game show and they sold out. What was it? Aragon Ballroom.
Yep.
I've been to shows with the urban alternative side, and their following is crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
I feel like there's a big difference from people that just make songs that can be in mix show, or make songs that
Turn
can
up
go crazy
songs.
on YouTube, or make songs that people can go crazy to on TikTok. Not to say that's all of the street side, but honestly, if you had to rate it, my ratio is urban alternative. They have more of that genuine following. They buy tickets, they buy merch, they come out, they support. I've been to hella shows on the other side where it's like, y'all can't even sell this place out.
And you'd be surprised
got
because
all
that's
these
what people want to
followers.
hear a lot too. People, I be feeling bad because I be doing nostalgic throwback music, and I'm like, oh, maybe they don't want to hear this. People like,
Bro,
do you know I be listening
Look,
to?
G, if people follow my Instagram and they really read the shit that I say, because I'm a writer, half of the shit I say is me really just going back down memory lane with Chicago music and really just having a real like love for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, like people like Julian Malone, 2080s, like these individuals. People be like, yo, like we never had like a Mac Miller of Chicago, bro. We have.
You just don't know.
You
about
just
it.
don't know. Like, and
But
that's
I say that to say, like, there's a teachable moment there. Like, we can both sides have something that we can teach each other, but we just can't get.
I think it either goes
it to
back to
collab.
what you were saying about either have these stations collab, which I don't know how that's gonna happen
I don't
because
think
everybody,
stations-
right?
It ain't the radio.
They got their independent
Okay?
entities, so that's
It ain't
probably
the
not gonna
radio.
happen like that. But what I could say is, I do know it comes down to a lot of either the programming director, and a lot of it is money. Like I think it was T-Pain say you need at least $250K to break a record on radio. People don't even care about breaking records on radio like that. Sometimes it's about the TikTok, what you're doing on social media. But regardless, we got to get all these sounds, these other sounds, we got to push them a little bit more forward, because there is a sound in mainstream and we know what that is. But that might not be what everybody want to listen to. You feel me? So then we start having these conversations with all the folks who like they killing it.
It starts here, G, with these conversations. I think that's when I think about building community, like when we think about Drink Champs, when we think about, you know, these podcasts and just like these different entities that are coming out of Atlanta and New York and Miami, like these entities are talking about their city's art, their city's music.
sure.
You know what I'm
Chicago
saying?
don't have that.
And that's the disconnect. Is like we're not
Chicago
sitting
don't
here
have
talking
that.
about
My
who's the
thing
coldest
is-
and who ain't being heard enough type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Since we actually have a radio personality right here, do you feel like there's a responsibility that radio has to getting the alternative sounds more into the mainstream, or is like, nah, that's on the artist? Like,
It's not even just on the artists. It's just about content creators in general. Like, what are you doing it for? Like, if you're just doing it because, I mean, if we gonna be honest, a lot of people have these platforms and you don't get posted unless you pay them to post.
Now, see,
A lot
that
of
is
people have
something.
these
Yep.
platforms.
ain't nobody talking about
Look,
it.
G, look. Go
So
ahead.
you
like-
said
Why
stack a
don't
little
talk?
250 to the
Let's-
side.
Y'all about to have management call me
Nah,
like, you
look.
always
No, G,
opening
but
your
this
mouth.
is look. I know niggas back in the day.
You better get
that
you
were
some
paying
money
for
and put it on
SoundCloud
there.
views, bro.
Yeah.
Like that, that's not a
But
game.
even with that, it's just not even. But that's not the only thing. But it's like a
Right.
lot of times, like you can't. That's not building a genuine following.
Right.
That's
Mhm,
not
mhm.
genuine having people like, oh yeah, I saw them on this person. I'm gonna check them out. You might check them out for that moment, but are they really good enough? Is that artist really good enough to like rear you in and get you checking for them again and again and again? And I think that's what artists go wrong a lot of times. Y'all spending y'all bread, y'all investments in the wrong thing because y'all just want to get posted and have this instant gratification of, oh, this blog posted me, so I'm lit now. I get people all the time that come to me and be like, you know, so-and-so played me in his mix. Why you can't put me on the radio?
See,
That was a mix. You're not in rotation.
but not only that, but it's like, and this was one thing I really loved about back in the day with the blogs, is that you respected who was writing the shit, right? So like, if Bree posts a certain type of song or a certain type of artist, it's like maybe you should look at the type of people that she listens
Because
to.
you know she ain't gonna promote no BS.
And that's the part that people miss, is that you listen to probably 20, 30, probably 40 plus songs a day.
But even I had to understand that. Because at first, I used to just, like, people would send me stuff, and I'll just post, like, oh, let me show this person love.
Right.
Because I want this person like me.
No.
And then
And
you got
I just think everybody is my friend. So let me just post everybody. But not.
But it's growth.
I had to learn that, like, you can't just be posting all these people. And I remember one time I posted an artist freestyle, and somebody hit me and was like, yo, this is whack. And I went back and listened to it, was like, damn, I didn't even listen. I just kind of reposted it because they sent it to me. Hell, but no, like, I had to learn that, like, people respect my ear. And even though I listen to a whole lot of R&B too, but people respect my ear. Like, I'm sure people definitely respect
That
your
is
ear.
the
Y'all
only
make a
reason.
comeback. Period.
The only reason I'm even, to be honest, that is the only reason why I feel like people still respect who I am in the scene right now, is because I wasn't just like talking about what I was talking about on when I was writing. It was because I really felt the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, my business partner, she has a thing where we literally give every track 15 seconds. If we don't feel nothing, we skipping that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that was, again, coming from True Star. True Star Magazine taught us how to be little A&Rs like a motherfucker.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, when we went to Brianna from Swing PR and our bosses was like, okay, this person's ready to interview someone at the Shrine or wherever we was at, it was like, we really was trained, you know what I'm saying, like to damn near be on some label type shit. So if we posted it on our site, if they ain't cold, that mean they just weren't trying hard enough.
You gotta have that credibility. And I feel like we got so many blogs and stuff, like, a lot of them not really credible. But I think it is good that certain artists are able to, you know, hit up a blog and be like, yo, can you post this? Because sometimes they probably don't got the money, but they got the hit.
Right.
You never know. Like, you never know. So I don't knock it, but I also feel like it kind of hinders us a lot. Only because Chicago doesn't have that Joe Budden podcast, or we don't have that Breakfast Club. Yeah, we don't have, like, that Drink Champs or whatever platform that is that, you know, you go to say, this artist is stamped. This the next one out of Chicago. We don't have that yet. How are we going to get that?
Yeah.
But you know,
that's all I'm gonna say.
What we do have, we have each other, and I don't mean that to be cliche, but I do notice that we are a city of co-signing in a sense. So it's like, if you got somebody who the masses respect their opinion and they take you under their wing type shit, you stamped. You are, and I love that, and that's why I really love, like, the mentoring program that Power 92 does, because
It's what's the word?
What's the word?
Sorry.
What's the word? I love the mentoring program that What's the Word does, because you're pairing folks with mentors. You're really giving people the game and the knowledge, and in some type of way, like, eventually in their career, like, they got somebody who will stamp them, and then from there we just grow. We continue to spread the knowledge, the words, like, don't hold anything in your hand. We dropped a lot of gems on this podcast today, and I really appreciate y'all for that.
Shout out to Vicki Street for putting this
I love
together.
this. Okay.
Thank you.
I've been
Connect
waiting
the
for
other
you to get to it. Oh,
No,
one
for
last
real.
thing. Artists have to support us too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's really quick. Let's talk about the artists.
If I
See,
post
that's
you,
a-
repost
yo.
it, tag me,
Listen.
tag what's the word, what's the buzz, music, tag the interns too. Because
Yo.
I'm tired. We support y'all. Our job is to help push y'all. And then y'all get mad if we don't post y'all a certain way. Y'all get mad if we make a list and y'all number 23
And
after
see,
we just
I'm
told
on the
y'all
writer and the
it's not
photographer
rated.
tip. So it's like, for me, I've gotten that where I've, like, legit built with artists. You know what I'm saying? Just because I believe in them. And the first thing these niggas do is don't credit me on the damn
Right.
post. It's like,
And a lot of times we do a lot. It's like media people, we do a lot. We sit in studio sessions. We sit on the phone with y'all trying to do I be reaching out to people for artist profiles and they don't even hit me back.
Okay, now that's just disrespectful.
Okay.
But
disrespect,
we
that's a
focusing on the
normal
people
day.
who
But
want
that, look,
it, though.
We do
yeah.
a lot.
That's not etiquette. That's not writing of God. So we not talking about them. We talking about
But
people.
going back to
Right.
changing the narrative, that's part of it. You know what I'm saying? Is learning
So
how
start
to
being
have
prepared,
proper,
having your stuff together.
you know what I'm saying? Like, if you talking
Absolutely.
to a person like Bree and you know that she busy, you know that she, you know what I'm saying? Like this is a legend. You feel me? So it's like, if she takes the time to listen to your shit,
Come on.
no, but it's like real talk though. It's like, if she takes the time to
you.
listen
The
to your
290
shit,
queen is
be
in.
professional. You know what I'm saying? Have your shit together. If you don't have a media kit, be like, yo, I'm gonna get woo up the band. And 9 times out of 10, she may understand.
Okay,
You
I've
need an
made
EPK, a
EPKs.
website, a
Like,
good LinkedIn.
Yo.
EPK website, LinkedIn, all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
Listen, I feel like we just made a difference in the life of a young person today. What y'all think?
Make sure you clip this up. And get
hey.
the good ones.
You know,
And the work don't stop though. That's the part that like in real time, like I literally go to sleep and dream about this shit. You know what I'm saying?
I dream of another 2012. Yes, I do.
Hey, look, G, like the mixtape era, like all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm truly trying to bring that back to Chicago.
I have one last interesting question.
Okay,
I don't know
for
if
sure.
I'm overpowering or whatever. Y'all know I talk a lot.
We all personalities. Let's do it.
Okay, so with the podcast market being very oversaturated, the blog platform market being hella oversaturated, what do y'all think is next for content?
Low key, this whole NFT joint, the verse that people begin. We finna start doing podcasts up in the verse. Just thinking future for it.
I want somebody to verse me. Maybe
it probably ain't hit y'all spirit just now, but that's what I think is the future.
Probably the best answer I've
Going
heard.
to whole concerts and stuff
I've
up in
been
there.
asking this question because it's like once like everything gets to like everybody, we always have to move on to something else.
Mm-hmm.
But, like we kind of in this space where it's like, what is that something? Like, what is it?
But I also feel like there's an open lane for some of everything in Chicago. Like it doesn't matter.
I feel like that's the
if
only
all
reason,
of us have a podcast.
That's the only reason Unsocial Aesthetics. That's the only reason what I'm trying to do. I even want to bring back because, like, and I've talked to people like Brianna from Swing PR, and I asked her flat out,
Brianna.
like,
That's my
yo,
big sister.
a legend.
Shout out to
big
Swing
sis,
PR.
for real. I asked her straight out. I'm like, do you think I should bring back a blog? And she was like, yes and no. Yes, because if you're passionate about it, that's what's gonna be what stands out above anything else, above the waves, above algorithms. That's what's gonna show. And I'm like, all right, but then I really started thinking about it. I'm like, consistency. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like even with what I've done, you know what I'm saying? Like I've taken photos of, G Herbo and Lil Bibby and Chance before they were who they were. You know what I'm saying? And that was just me being in the right place at the right time, but also really loving this city's music. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like building into all of that, like that's what's gonna take us into the future. You know what I'm saying? And I really feel like, and it may be cliche to even say, but I really feel like passion is gonna really be what stands out because we have all the genres, we have all the styles, we have all that, and it's like in real time, people really want to hear something different, and it's like I feel like it is that passion. I feel like it is the drive. You know what I'm saying? So it's really like how bad do you want it? Like how hungry are you? Like do you really want to put out 2 to 3 freestyles a week where you like going crazy, or are you just gonna like take your time? Because if that's the case, people ain't gonna never see you.
Because they see so many people in a day. For sure. They definitely see a lot of people in a day.
Listen.
So you got to keep their attention. You got to get your cereal bowl and your wraps together.
To be completely honest, I feel like you got to be innovative as well. The question was, what is the rap scene missing here in Chicago? What's the scene period missing? Just innovation. The way that whole cereal bars thing came about was me and my sister passed each other in the hallway in the morning. I was like, I got to figure out a way to get this money back tomorrow. She was like, you better go in there and rap. I was like, period. It's a mic up in there. We just doing it.
And those been cold, G. The one you had with Freddie Old Soul on there, G.
Thank you.
I was sitting there like, Shorty really just said, Shorty from Destiny's Child can't sing.
I know.
I was like, yo. I was like, this is why she gonna get on, because she's a student of hip hop, and that's what I think is like. When I call myself a wannabe hip hop head, 'cause I be trying to find all the hip hop documentaries I can and shit. That's the one pattern I see in all of this shit is like they kept creating the spaces. They kept having these conversations. So it was like if they felt something was not there, it's like, okay, let's create the shit.
Also, since you said that, I was talking to, this was a while ago, Shanika Speaks. She has a lot of footage from like South by Southwest 2010, 11,
Golden
Louis,
era.
Dreezy. And I'm like, why don't you ever put this out?
Documentary, like a
Like,
for
motherfucker.
real.
Yeah.
Why don't you ever put this out? We don't see
We
that.
got to create the Chicago documentary, the
Because
2012
you see
joint.
so many like, oh,
Man,
T.I. said this 10 years ago, or here's a video of Thug before he was Thug.
That
like,
was
Lil
exactly
Baby
why
before he was Lil
when
Baby. You don't see that with Chicago.
Last year, when I worked with Mother Nature and Renzel to put out their project Nature's World, our goal was to make sure people understood why Mother Nature and Renzel linking up was important.
You have to tell that story.
And we put out I think it's like a 21-minute documentary where all we did was just talk about the shit we talking about now. You know what I'm saying? And we really just talked about how, again, because Mother Nature being who they are, Renzel being who he is like for the wave of artists that we know, that's game changing. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, again, it's about creating that content, and I think not being afraid of having that content. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you're saying, like, this person has this content and they just sitting on the shit, and it's like, nah, bro.
This is
Like,
golden
we need
content.
that. The
like,
city needs that.
Even if it's a YouTube short, sis, put it out.
Like, for real. For real.
So actually, we gonna get to working on it. This is the start of it, cause we can't just talk about something. When I have folks listen and watch this show and join it, like, we have to create solutions. And I know this is an age-old story of, we don't help each other out, crabs in a bucket. I'm kind of tired of hearing that as the narrative of Chicago. So, you know, we got each other's numbers. We going to get together. I have tons of footage as well from 2012, and we going to make a Chicago documentary happen.
Hey, I'm here
in the
for
building.
it. I'm here for it. You already know how.
We creating one anyway.
On my soul.
We
so
locked in.
It's another day in the office. Let's get it.
Yeah. And look, with that, I just want to thank y'all for coming on to the first episode of the all-new Vicki Street Show. This the first one.
I'm honored.
The first one.
Yo, in real talk, G, like shouts to Vicki Street, bro.
Yes,
like,
Vicki,
people know you as the MC, but people don't know you've been putting in blood, sweat, and tears for the last 10 years in this scene, bro.
I remember when I first came home from college, and I didn't even know if I wanted to do radio for real. And I think DJ Royal was like, you heard of Vicki Streets? And I literally been in tune with you ever since.
Period.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, shout out to everybody who been rocking. This is actually like the third installment of the Vicki Street Show. It was a live, in-person, on-campus joint, and now we bringing it to this podcast space so we could be live and cut and raw. So appreciate y'all. I want y'all to tune in and click the link below, because we'll have some playlists included as well, and a live mix too, so you can get in tune with all the artists we mentioned this evening. But I want y'all to be blessed, stay educated, and continue to inspire. It's your girl Vicki Street. Good night.
Just been a fan, don't worry about what I put up and worry about that minivan.